This just frees you up so much more, and it gives you such a more spacious calendar, and it just makes you feel so much more confident in your plan because you're like, I know what I need to do. I know what my goals are. I know how I'm going to be making my sales. And now all I need to do to be successful this year is to follow this really simple plan. Do you ever wish there was some kind of checklist, though, that every time you open up your laptop, you know exactly what you need to do every day, every week, and every month to grow your business? Well, that's kind of what this episode is. So if that's what you're looking for, let's dive right on in. It's Kate here from Hello Funnels, and welcome back to the Doing It Online podcast. Now, today I want you to put up your virtual hand if you felt like the last 12 months, it's like being pulled in a million different directions. Like you feel like you can't keep up. You're juggling all the balls. Like every cliche you want to think of a totally overwhelmed, overworked entrepreneur, they were all just accurate for the last 12 months, okay? So let's bring a new energy into 2025. And if you've been listening to the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about how to simplify, the key things to be focusing on, how to make your revenue more reliable, and how to know exactly what is going to be the best way for you to be selling your offers in this new year. So as I said, if you haven't listened to those, hit pause, go back, check them out, because in this episode, we're going to be breaking down the exact activities and how to create a plan for yourself for those activities so you know exactly what you need to be doing every day, every week, and every month to be growing your business and moving towards your goals. Sound good? Let's go. Alrighty guys, as we talked in the last episode, one of the keys to being able to have this kind of structured plan is that you need to have a way to sell your offers that is reliable, that is consistent, that you are able to know with a good degree of certainty that if you put 100 people through it, a certain number of people would buy. And that number is your conversion rate, in case you're wondering. The next thing you want to do is go, all right, well, currently I'm putting 100 people in. Well, now I want to put in 200, or I want to put in 300, I want to put in 400. That's how we grow. Like when we know this converts at this rate, the next focus moves from how am I going to make my sales? That moves now to, okay, well, how do I get more people into this thing, okay? So whether you're doing it live, whether you're doing evergreen, whether you're doing it a combo, doesn't matter. This is a new thing that you now get to focus on, if not obsess on, for the rest of the year. And this is what we're going to create the plan around. So when it comes to growing your audience, getting people into that machine, there's different ways you can do that. And the right way for you is going to probably be some combo of the following three things based on where you are currently, based on your own time constraints, based on the size of your existing audience, based on your budget, all this stuff. You can make up your own plan here. So it's going to be, option one, you have paid ads, right? There's pros and cons to that. The pros are it's something you have a lot of control over, and once you get it working, you can usually grow it quite quickly. The cons are, of course, it's an expense, and it's usually an upfront expense. Hopefully, when you have that machine that you know converts at X%, it becomes an educated guess expense, because you can then go, okay, well, now I know that I'm going to make 10 sales if I get 100 people. So I know I can spend this much to then get that 100 people in to make those 10 sales. And, it feels a lot more supported than just spending money, crossing your fingers, hoping that something happens. But there's still a bit of risk there, at least at the start while you're testing things. So again, not a perfect audience, and none of them are. So your next option is social media and content marketing. So there are so many different options there. Obviously, you've got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and they all have their own pros and cons. So it really depends on what's going to make sense for you, where your market is hanging out, the types of content you like to create. But hopefully within that huge umbrella of content marketing, there is one that, feels good to you and makes sense with your audience. Now, the pros and cons here, of course, a lot less control. It can be a really slow build. It also can be very, very time consuming. Pros, of course, it's free, but you have to sacrifice your time to be able to have that payoff. So what's going to be the right balance for you is totally up to you. The third type of audience that you have is other people's audiences or a borrowed audience. So that's when you have, going into people's Facebook groups, of course, with permission, the ones that allow you to do posting. We don't want to do anything dodgy here. Joining in on bundles or summits or other group giveaways. These can be really powerful ways to get quite a big spike in people into your world, into your list, and then into whatever your sales system is. The pros of this is free. The cons is that they can take a bit of effort and a bit of time to be able to organize in the first place. You don't have any control over when they happen. And also, of course, you're usually one of many. So all these people who are joining your list are usually also joining maybe 10, 20, 30 other lists at the same time. So they're going to join these lists and they're going to get bombarded with messaging. And it can be hard to get cut through on these people who have now joined your list. And hopefully you have a bit of feeling, right now, I've got more budget than time, so I'm going to lean more heavily on ads. Or you go, right now, I've got more time than budget, so I'm going to go trying to grow my social, and it makes the most sense for me to do this platform. Sit down, spend about 20 minutes, and just pick a couple that make sense for you. Maybe hit pause while you're doing that, come back, and we're going to break it down even further. So now that you know where you are going to go and find your audience, it's time to turn this into tasks. So that, again, you kind of take this like overwhelming feeling of, oh my gosh, all right, so I've got to do all these what? We want to make this into something that just feels doable. It feels like a daily checklist, and preferably a short daily checklist. So it's not going to take up all your time and you can't do anything else. However, as I did say at the start of this episode, once you have your little engine in place, if you are not hitting the sales targets you want to be hitting, this is the priority of your business. You've got a way to sell it. That works great. Step 2 is get in front of as many people as you can and be obsessive about that until you are hitting and surpassing your goals regularly. Until that happens, there is nothing else as important as this. Yes, please make sure you're delivering a decent product out the back, but you should be spending most of your time on this. And that's why I wanted you to simplify how you were selling so that you're not being torn back and forth between this, spending all this time setting up this way of selling and then all this time promoting and never really being able to get much traction on either because they're both so time consuming. Now you're going to get a piece of paper, post-it notes, however works for you. And I want you to create 3 lists. And these are lists of tasks that you need to be doing either every day, every week, or every month to be able to be, doing what you need to do to the best of your abilities within your current time constraints to get as many people as you can from your chosen audiences onto your list. Now, obviously, once you have that engine in place and it's been running for a while, hopefully you will have that conversion percent. So you can actually reverse engineer what this number is. You can go, all right, well, I want to make 20 sales this month. And I know to make 20 sales, I need to get this number of people into my sales system. So therefore, I know I need to do X, Y, Z. That's where we want you to get to. It doesn't normally start like that. So your initial goal is just as many people as possible. And then you're going to track that conversion percent and know, all right, over time, this is roughly what it usually converts at. And then you can start sort of updating those goals as you go and setting these and making them more precise throughout the year. But to start with, goal is just as many as possible. All right. I hope that makes sense. So you've got your piece of paper, your daily tasks, your weekly tasks, your monthly tasks. So sit down and put all the things that you need to do under those. And because it sounds probably a bit vague, I thought what I'd do is actually share mine because that's going to give you an idea of what that looks like for me. So for me, and I'm going to read this off piece of paper. So see me looking over there? Don't get mad. So for me, daily tasks, check and adjust our ads. And I've got guidelines like within the task, I've got guidelines like if it's doing this, do that, just so it takes all the brain power away from it. It's just very much like, okay, turn this on, turn this off, raise this budget, super easy. I check our customer community. I check our customer service inbox. And those 3 things take me about 40 minutes a day. So that's my daily task. And yes, I've bunched in a couple of admin business maintenance things in there because let's just make it all simple, okay? Then my weekly tasks are create and schedule my social media posts for the following week, and I'm aiming for 4, so nothing crazy. I do these on a Friday, by the way. My weekly task pops up Friday morning. Then I create and test new ad creatives each week, so I've got them ready to go and scheduled to start the next week. I check my funnel stats, and I pay any invoices and contractors. First 2.5 hours on a Friday. That's done. And then monthly, I do this mid-month for the next month. So usually it's the 3rd Monday and Tuesday of the month. I've got this set up recurring. I confirm whatever our promotion is for the next month. So whatever our evergreen launch is going to be. I map out any content that's needed for that promotion. I brief my team so they know what's happening. And if they need any help with writing emails or creating that content, those people know what they need to do and they can get started. And then plan out my podcast for the month. I record the podcast for the month, and I set my goals for the month for both our funnel and that promotion. This takes about 6 to 7 hours. And because that's a pretty big chunk, I break it over 2 days. So I've got like 3 hours one day, 3 and a bit hours on the next day. So I normally try to plan things on one day and do things on the next day. And if I also need to do a bit of extra B-roll or something, although because it's like my least favorite thing to do, I tend to kind of skip that one. I'll do that on the same day as a podcast recording day because I'm already looking semi-presentable. And then I take that, so once you've got that plan, you obviously put it into your project management system, make sure it's got, recurring, so it's going to keep coming up. And then I would also take it and put it in your calendar because you want these to be non-negotiables. And then exhale because you now know what you need to do. And hopefully you haven't made this too crazy. Like you haven't gone, I'm going to do 5 reels a day, but if that's what you want to do, go for it. But the fact that you've now got this written down, it's in your calendar, it's in your project management system, you've allocated a bit of time around it. So if you are planning on doing a reel a day and you want to get up each morning and record it and do it, know that it's going to take you 30 minutes, put it in there, put it in the calendar, and then you will see how much space you have for everything else. And I think you will find this just frees you up so much more, and it gives you such a more spacious calendar, and it just makes you feel so much more confident in your plan because you're like, I know what I need to do. I know what my goals are. I know how I'm going to be making my sales. And now all I need to do to be successful this year is to follow this really simple plan. And I've chunked it down. For example, my daily, it's 40 minutes a day. Once a week, 2.5 hours, and once a month, another 6 hours. Those are the things I know I need to do to hit our goals next year. And of course, there's going to be other projects and that will get scheduled around it. And over time, you might go, you know what? I think I need a bit more of this or a bit less of that, and you can adjust. But for now, this should hopefully just give you the structure and the breathing space to make your 2025 feel rock solid, reliable, and low stress, because that is how businesses should be. And if you're a bit more of a visual planner person, I know it's already a couple of weeks into the year, but still plenty of time to grab our totally free, totally gorgeous 2025 marketing planner designed just for course creators. All you need to do is go to hellofunnels.co/2025 or grab the link below. We'll send it to you. I said, it's free, but it's just beautiful and useful and valuable, and it's going to help you to actually plan all of this out. So I hope this has been useful, guys. I hope you loved it. I would really appreciate if you did find this useful, if you could share it with at least one person or give us a thumbs up or a review, because all of that helps us to get our word out and to help as many people as possible to make more sales more easily, which is what we're all about here at Hello Funnels. So thank you again for joining me. Have an amazing and super nerdy week, and I will see you next time. Bye.